Hello and welcome back to Colonial Airstream. I'm Patrick Botticelli. Today I want to go over a trailer that's extremely popular. It is the all-new 2022 Airstream Globetrotter 23 FBT. The T stands for twin beds, but this trailer is also available with queen bed up front. The queen bed is 60 inches by 75 inches long, and the twin beds are 34 inches wide by 80 inches long. This trailer is also available in 4 different interior decors. It's available in Barcelona blue with the natural elm cabinets. It's available in London gray with natural elm, and then it's also available in Copenhagen cream with dark walnut cabinets and Dublin slate with dark walnut. So 4 great interior decors, 2 different floor plans. And let me go over the specifications with you. This trailer is 23 feet 9 inches long. That's from the center of the ball to the back bumper. The exterior width is 8 feet wide, leaving you an interior width of 7 feet 7 inches. The exterior height to the top of the air conditioning is 9 feet 9 inches, and it has an interior headroom of 6 feet 7.5 inches. The gross vehicle weight rating, that's the maximum weight the trailer could weigh, is 6,300 pounds. And the dry weight before factory options is 5,300 pounds. That gives you a 1,000 pound net carrying capacity. So that's all the stuff you can put in the trailer. You're adding water, 1,000 pounds is a lot. It also has a dry base weight, tongue weight of 525 pounds. The base MSRP for an early 2022 before factory options and destination is $101,800. This trailer has a 37-gallon freshwater tank, a 37-gallon gray waste tank, and a 17-gallon black waste tank. The air conditioning is 13,500 BTU and has an electric heat pump. The furnace is 18,000 BTU, and that is a forced air propane furnace system. The refrigerator is 6.8 cubic feet, and that is a compressor style refrigerator. It runs off a 12-volt DC and 120-volt AC. Now I'd like to show you the lay of the land inside. I want to take you through the interior of the trailer and kind of tell you where things are. And then what we'll do is we'll go into a little bit more detail and I'll show you how things work and a little bit of the storage. So come on in. Right when you walk in, it's got a very spacious galley lounge area. And this model has a big U-shaped dinette that's 34 inches wide by 76 inches long. So this will fold down for 2 kids. Big sink in the kitchen, you got a 3-burner gas cooktop, and then you have an option of either convection microwave, which is a $475 option, or the standard gas oven. Refrigerator in the middle. And then when we get into the bedroom, you can see how much the twin beds open up this floor plan. And there's a wardrobe here, a shirt locker here, plenty of overhead roof locker storage, a pantry, and then the rear bath. And look at this bathroom. Very spacious, glass shower door, fully enclosed shower. Lots of room to get physically dressed in here. It's great for if you have teenage kids that are going to come camp with you. They like the privacy of an all-in-one bathroom versus some of the split bathrooms that the other models have. So this is great for that reason. And for people that like to open front and back of the trailer, you could leave the bathroom door open and really get that flow front to back with views. So now that you know the lay of the land, I want to take you through just in a little bit more detail and show you how everything works in this trailer and where everything is so you understand a little bit more. So let's get started. Starting in the bedroom, lots of space between the 2 twin beds. A lot of storage below. So these doors open, there's plastic bins in them. On this side, there's no bin on that one. There's 2 bins here, 2 different levels. Another one here, that's open storage, and another one here. And all these cabinets, it's all plywood, cut out on a CNC router with laminate, edge banding, and laminate. So there's no particle board, there's no vinyl sticker wrap. And they do use all premium hardware. Underneath the bed platform, you can see there's slots routed out. That allows the mattress to breathe. There's an access hatch here to get to the water heater for winterization procedure. And they use premium mattresses, really nice mattresses, very comfortable. Customers are very happy with the comfort. It comes with all the bedding here, and then there's a different color floor that comes with the lighter color cabinets, and then a lighter color floor with the dark cabinets. But this is all woven vinyl flooring, and it's embedded into a rubber membrane, so there's a little bit of a soft to it, and it gives you a little bit of insulating factor. And then below that is the composite deck flooring, so it's one piece of a composite material that is all routed out for all the holes for all the plumbing and drains. And what's great about that is it has a little bit of insulating factor. It has better screw retention, so you don't have to worry about over time screws coming loose and floors creaking, and there's no seams where tongue and grooves meet together. And if you did get wet, it's not going to rot out or delaminate, but that's standard on all brand new Airstream travel trailers now. Over here there's a furnace duct for the 18,000 BTU propane furnace. There's a center drawer here. These are all full extension drawers. But you can put a lot of things in here. This happens to store right now the wireless driving camera. So this goes in your tow vehicle, and it plugs into your 12-volt socket. When you turn on the headlights on your vehicle or parking lights, that will power up the camera that's in the back of the trailer and give you a display of what's going on behind you. And it's great because you can see when you're backing up, you can see when you're driving straight who you have passed and cleared and what's going on behind you. This right here, because this trailer comes standard with a Zip-D power awning. This is an awning recovery tool. So this, if there was ever a power failure in the trailer and you needed to get the awning in, there's tools in here that are necessary to bring that awning in. So you want to make sure you keep this in the trailer. Remote controls for the television and Blu-ray player. And then on either side here, we have an electrical outlet on this side with USB charging. And then on this side, you have a matching electrical outlet with USB charging. So for any of your devices at night that you need in between the beds, you do have ample power. 2 reading lights over the bed with light switches, and they're all directional. And then this center window opens all the way out, and there is a rock guard on the outside that you have to open first to get that open. But every window that opens, and there's 3 total in this bedroom, have insect screens on them. And what you do is you pull the handles, you twist, and then you lift the knobs, and there's 3 different heights that the window snaps into. And then you have the beautiful panoramic window up here in the bedroom. Really opens up the space and lets you take advantage of the view you have during the day. But at night, when you want privacy, they pull all the way around, and they have a blackout lining in them. So you get a lot of privacy on board. And they're on aluminum rail, and you can unsnap and take the caps off and slide them out if you ever wanted to clean them. The stereo system has 4 regular speakers on board, and there's a subwoofer on board. There's 2 speakers here in the bedroom, 2 in the galley area, and then the subwoofer is under the dinette. These lift up and gain access to your overhead roof locker storage. All premium hardware here. This laminate material, it resists like fingerprints, or it's easy to clean if you get smudges on them. But you can see an aluminum skin here in the back. There's a mirror, so when you're reaching in, if you can't see what you're doing, you could look in the mirror and see what you're grabbing. And they're all backlit as well. And the hardware, it gives you enough spring tension to keep it closed when you're driving. And then up top here, there's an accent light. All the interior skin on the Airstreams are aluminum. It's the same grade and thickness of aluminum that's on the exterior skin of the trailer. And if you look up, we have ductwork. So this has ducted air conditioning. This has the new QuietStream air conditioning that really reduces noise levels from the blower motor on the air conditioning. These vents here are directional, so you can move them around, and you could also shut certain registers off if you want to dedicate more airflow into another part of the trailer. And talking about airflow, there's 2 fantastic fans on board. Both fans are exhaust only, 3 different speeds, and they have a thermostat built into them. So you could set your interior temperature and the fan will continually run until it drops below that temperature. And then the fan will kick back on when the temperature rises. It also has a rain sensor built into it. So if it did rain, it would shut the lid down. And the way this works, you just pick your speed, You decide if you want the fan on, and then there's an open close lid button here. Now the lid will come up. Here's our thermostat setting. So that's our room temperature right where that click is. So right now, if it did get above our room temperature, the fan would kick on. Or if I wanted to cool it more than what it is right now, I'd turn it below that. And then the screen is removable, so you could pop this out and clean the screen off. There's a fuse here, and then you can manually turn it up and down if you wanted to with this knob. And then since this is the bedroom, they allow you to black this area out if you didn't want light shining through. All the ceiling lights are LED, and they're dimmable, so all main ceiling lights have dimmable feature built into them. And then the insulation that is in this trailer currently is EcoBat insulation. So it looks like a pink fiberglass insulation, but has better properties. It's a lot safer for you, and that's about 2 inches between the interior and exterior skin shell. This window here on the side opens up. This is an 18-inch wide window. You just pull the levers, twist, and lift, and then you snap in all your different heights. Do make sure before you tow away from the campground, follow your checklist on the Airstream app or in your manual, or go to support.airstream.com. Just make sure your windows are shut. You don't want them flying open when you're driving. This window here is much larger because it's an emergency exit window. Everything operates the same way except for the handles are red, but the screen is removable. Pull it out, it allows the screen to come out so you can climb out of the trailer. It has a television at the foot of the bed that's on an articulating arm, and this arm locks and snaps into position when you're towing. And that's hooked up to an HDMI port that is hooked up to the Blu-ray. It's also hooked up to an external cable inlet when you're at a campground, or an aerial antenna that's on the roof. And then when you use the aerial antenna, there is an antenna booster that you turn on to boost the signal up. And then there's 2 other switches here on the wall that are part of the accent lights and the reading lights in the bedroom here. At the foot of the bed here on the curb side, which is the passenger side if you're thinking about a tow vehicle, there's a reading light up here, and this would be the head of the bed. If this is a queen bed model, the queen bed would be this way. The bed would lift up to get the storage, and you'll be able to walk around 2 sides of the bed, but that light stays here even though it's a twin. There's a compartment here, and this happens to store the Airstream owner's manuals. So this has all the manuals for all the components in the trailer as well as the trailer itself. You can put whatever you want in this compartment, but this fits perfect in here. And then there's the shirt locker here. And I say shirt locker because it has a hanging wardrobe rod at the top. You can hang your shirts in here, but I've seen people organize these differently. And then there's also a light, an LED light in this that you turn on and off to see what's going on. That's a nice touch. Airstream's very mindful when they build these trailers. They've been doing this for over 90 years. These are a lot of ideas that came about over the years of building travel trailers that they still implement today. And every year there's always improvements on the product. And I've been selling Airstream since 2002, and I've seen the development of the Airstream travel trailer over the last 19 years. And it's very exciting to see what's new and what they're coming out with. All right, moving back further, we're going to go right here to this wardrobe. In the wardrobe, this allows you to hang clothes in here, and there's a shelf up top, same light, and then this houses the center cushion for the dinette when you want to make it up into a bed. And then below on the floor of the wardrobe, this lifts up and gives you access to your water pump for winterization. And also below, there's an access hatch that opens up, and you can get right to the winterization tube here as well. And this is a great way for you could see how the tank is in an insulated chamber, and composite flooring here. There's a cutaway, you can see the side of it. And then the tanks are heated. There's a forced hot air propane furnace ducts work that goes down into the tanks to circulate hot air around your tank chamber to bring the temperature up about 7 to 10 degrees to give you a little boost if you get an unexpected drop in temperature below freezing at night for a short period. Over here is a privacy shade. So if you just wanted to isolate the bedroom area from the rest of the trailer, there's a curtain here that pulls across and goes in, and that just gives you temporary privacy if you needed it. It's nice to have, and it's a little bit less bulky than the accordion doors that we had in earlier model years. A little bit more modern looking. Over here on the dinette, this table you could spin around if you want to kind of get in here and sit down and have a little bit more room. It's also on a slide, so you can slide the table in and out to gain access easier to the inside. But it's also what's used when you want to fold this into a bed. Before we get into the folding of the bed, let me just show you some of the storage options. You got a door here, and then you got another door back here for additional storage below. There's an electrical outlet in the middle, and then if you lift up the cushions, you could also gain access here to the storage, and you can see the subwoofer down in there. So if you wanted to put something larger that wouldn't fit in the door below, you have little lids you could take off. And then this part of it here is just the wheel well. So the wheel well cuts into the body, and that area right there is boxed in over the wheel well. All right, so to bring this down into a bed, what I do is I bring the table out all the way, then I undo the clamps, and then I push down. And what's nice about it is you could twist the table and kind of wedge it underneath this side here, and then bring this one above, and then bring it all back and snap it down. Then you just slide it in, lock the levers, and put your insert in. Now I'm 5 feet 9 inches tall. Gives you an idea how much room. So, I mean, 2 adults could sleep on this bed easily. 2 kids very easily, as long as they're willing to sleep next to each other. Some people leave this set up as a bed all day long. They just use it as a deep lounge. So they can swivel that bedroom television around and use this as a lounge area. Over here on the wall, there's a cubby here so you could put some devices in, and then you have your comfort control center that operates the 13,500 BTU air conditioning with electric heat pump. So you just turn the system on, and then you hit the mode button to toggle through cool, which will be air conditioning, auto, which will be air conditioning or heat pump, depending on how you have your temperature set, heat pump only, and heat pumps work good when it's 44 degrees out and above. Your furnace, which would be your Foresight Air 18,000 BTU furnace, or fan only in the air conditioning. And the next mode will be off. So you just toggle through. This trailer has 1 zone, but when you get to larger trailers that have 2 air conditioners, there's 2 different zones that you could set up in here. So zone 1 is all we have. You could set the clock, you could program your heating controls, but also then you could change your fan speed. So for the air conditioning and heat pump, there's a low, medium, high, and auto. So 3 different speeds, and then when you put it on auto, it will automatically determine what speed you need in order, depending on how much of a temperature gap you have. And it will adjust the fan speed as it gets lower in temperature. Also shut the fan off when you reach your temperature. So it's just like at home, air conditioning comes on and off as needed. Some people put it on low, medium, high because they like that white noise all night long. So the air conditioning compressor will kick on and off as needed, but the blower motor will stay on all the time. And then over here you can change your temperature up and down. You can see your inside temperature, and then you can change from Fahrenheit to Celsius. Over here we have a 1,000 watt pure sine wave inverter on board. This is the remote switch for it. So the inverter is actually underneath the bed, at the head of the bed, in a compartment. So instead of reaching in to turn it on and off, you could turn it on and off from here. And what that does, it powers certain electrical outlets that are labeled for inverter, like the one under the dinette next to the TV and one in the upper roof locker. So that way you could plug in your laptop, you could turn on a television, you could use a Blu-ray player. It's for small electronic devices. And this is how you turn it on and off. And it's always best practice to only turn it on when you need to use those devices and shut it off when you're done so you don't have any residual draw on the battery. This is the Victron Energy solar display. So this is going to allow you to know your battery status. When you get the solar package on this trailer, it gives you a 90 watt solar panel, and then they provide you with 80 amp hour absorbed glass mat, 12 volt Group 24 series batteries. So they're in parallel, and it gives you a total of 160 amp hours of battery and 80 usable. This trailer is equipped with the optional solar charging system. If you decide not to get the solar charging system, Airstream will prep the trailer for solar and they'll ship it without batteries. So if you decided to do something different like lithium and more panels, you have that option to do so. Up over the dinette, there's a roof locker, another mirror in this one. You got 2 speakers here. There's a Blu-ray player, and then there's an audio input for the stereo. So you could do a regular audio jack, and there's a USB as well. The stereo is a Fusion stereo, very high quality stereo system. It's Sirius XM ready. It's also Wi-Fi and Bluetooth enabled. What's nice about that is when you're playing your television, the television has its own speakers built in. If you wanted to connect that to the sound system of this trailer, if you get an Apple TV for that television, this will recognize the Apple TV, and you could then broadcast the television sound through the entire trailer. So it's a nice feature with that Fusion stereo. And then there's another inverter outlet above the stereo, and then you got some lights over the dinette, 2 big windows that open all the way out. And then you'll see the smoke detector here with a 9-volt battery. There's a carbon monoxide detector in the bedroom. And there's also a combination smoke and carbon here in the hallway that's hardwired to the battery system of the trailer. And then down here is the battery converter charger. So this converts AC to DC and charges your battery. Houses all your breakers for your 120 volt AC electrical. And then it has your DC 12 volt fuses here, regular automotive ATC fuses. There's also a battery charger on board, so when you're plugged into shore power, whether it's a 15, 20, or 30 amp outlet, the battery charger will come on and charge your batteries up for you. There's a multi-stage battery charger as well. This area here on the bottom is just a cutout to allow this cabinet to breathe a little bit. This is equipped with the NovaCool 12 volt compressor style refrigerator. I have 2 Airstreams, a 1961 Airstream Bambi and a 97 B190. I retrofitted both of my Airstreams with this refrigerator, smaller model, because I love it so much. It runs so efficient, it's very quiet, and you can leave it on when you're driving down the highway. And this one has a large freezer portion. This is for your ice cream up here and ice cubes. The rest of the stuff is for regular freezer. Or if you change the temperature, you could put your beer in here and you could set this one colder than your refrigerator up top. So you have the choice of how you want to use it. The one up top is very large, and these compressor style refrigerators are extremely deep. That's one of the major benefits of going with one of these refrigerators versus a propane absorption. There's no burner element behind it. So you look at the door, they do look small compared to a propane refrigerator, but then when you go inside, the depth is very impressive. You could fit a full ice cream cake in there, which you wouldn't be able to on most of the absorption style refrigerators. And there's travel latches here up top that you just put on when you're driving just to protect the door, make sure it doesn't open. Another storage up here, this is great for spices. These are your intakes for your air conditioning. So this is where it's sucking all the air in, the air conditioning's up above, and then it blows it out all the registers. There's filters in here that you gotta take down periodically. I would say after you're done with the trip, take these down and clean them, put them in the sink, let them dry, put them back up. All the lint that is created in your house is also created in here, but it's a smaller space. So the lint gets stuck in here, and what happens is it clogs the airflow, makes your air conditioning work much harder, could make it not work, and you could also have air conditioning failure if these are clogged. So make sure you check that. You'd be surprised how quick they'll clog with lint. In the kitchen area, another spice rack area here. This is pretty deep. You can put canned goods in that one. And then you have the 3-burner gas cooktop. You just select which burner you would light on, put on a light, and then you just push that in and the propane will flow through it, ignite that burner. This one does not have propane, so it's not going to ignite, but now you get the idea. And there are 3 different size burners here, so you decide depending on what you're going to cook, what you want to put on. This one is obviously for a larger pan. These are for smaller. And you want to make sure this cools off before you lower the lid down. And you don't want to leave one of these on and close the lid because that will shatter quickly. Towel bar here And then the convection microwave, it's just like a regular electric oven that some of you might have at home. It's got an electric element up top, but it has a convection fan in the back that circulates that hot air around your food and allows it to cook by convection. That's only when you're on convection mode. If you just want to use it as a regular microwave, you can do that as well. Just turn on the regular microwave. You got a standard microwave glass carousel in here that will spin around. You can put your popcorn in there and pop it. So it's nice that it's dual function. But you would need to be plugged into electricity at a campground in order to use this. This compartment here flips down, and the wheel well is right behind it. So anywhere that Airstream could potentially put stores, they do. You see in a lot of other manufacturers that, you know, they wouldn't put the door and the hardware here, they just put a solid panel, because it does cost quite a bit more money. You look at all the extra pieces you need just to make this door here, but Airstream, they know their customers love storage, and Airstream utilizes every inch they possibly can. Up above the cooktop, there is a cooktop ventilation. It also has a light built in. There's a little louver that you open on the outside of the trailer once you get set up for camp that allows the airflow out. And it has a screen here for grease that you can clean periodically. This roof locker here opens up, and this one's unique because it's carpeted. There's carpet down here and there's grommets. But what they designed that for is these sink covers. On a Globetrotter, you get solid surface countertop, solid surface sink cover. These, when you're traveling, you could store them in, and there's a little rubber grommet that lines them up and prevents them from sliding around when you're towing. So that's exactly where they'll store, and I wouldn't recommend leaving them in when you're driving. Take them out and put them up there. Just remember where you put them. This is nice. This is another piece of corian they cut out. And then there's a pail in here. So you can put food scraps in here, compost, you can put recyclables, dog food. You can put whatever you want in this compartment. It's nice to have that recessed right in the countertop. There's GFCI protected electrical outlet here, light switch, ocean air roller shade that has both sides hook in. And then the sink. This is a Franke faucet that pulls out, and there's a different spray pattern here. Nice, deep stainless steel bowl sink, rectangular shape, rounded corners. And then you have your drawer banks here. These are all wooden boxed. You got a silverware organizer on this one. Bulk storage here. And this is a false front to make it look like drawers. This one is a large drawer, but two pieces combined. And then you have a trash pail here, and you can get another one, put a recycling right next to it. So this is a nice area. I've also seen people put some small appliances in this one, like the NutriBullets. Another furnace exhaust here, and this is your furnace intake. This is where it brings the air in to heat it, and then there's registers throughout the trailer on the bottom. Over here, there's a slide-out pantry with adjustable shelves. So you can take these shelves and adjust them at different heights. You just got to make sure you have enough room to lift the items out. So you get 4 total. There's a bulk storage up top here. And then down below, there's a panel here. Airstream is extremely mindful when they build these trailers and giving you access for maintenance and winterization. So this panel just pops right off, and it gives you access for winterization. There's low point drains in there. That lets you drain the hot and cold water lines of the trailer out the bottom of the trailer. And then you just snap this back on when you're done, and there's no screws to take out. Up above, there's another fantastic fan on board, just like one in the bedroom, but there's no shade on this one. You could add it aftermarket. Whiteboard here, coat hooks. There's an access panel to get to the shower plumbing if it ever needed maintenance. You got some light switches here, your main ceiling light switch, awning light. So this has a long LED strip light underneath the awning. It illuminates that whole underside of your awning. It's beautiful. Well, you could dim that down. If it gets a little bit too bright out there for you, you could dim it down. You have the availability to do so. This is ZipD power awning controls, and this is the battery disconnect. So when you're done using the trailer, you want to put away in storage, you could shut that battery switch off. It shuts the power off to everything except for that carbon monoxide LP leak detector. and the electric hitch jack. Those are the things that are going to be on still. It also still allows your solar charging system to charge the batteries with that switch off. Over here, there's some key hooks at the entry door and a fire extinguisher, and then Airstream gives you a nice welcome mat. There's another access panel for the shower, that's to get to the drain, and then they have this angle piece here that allows you to easily sweep the floor out. And these woven vinyl floors, there's a big misconception about them. Because it's woven, a lot of people think that stuff gets stuck underneath, like dog hair. It's embedded into rubber mats, so it's very, very tight. It's very easy to wipe down. You could get a damp cloth and wipe it down, or just sweep it right out. Nothing really gets stuck in any of the grooves there. That's my choice. If I was to do my Airstream all over again, I'd probably add this flooring instead of the sheet vinyl flooring. Bathroom door, it's just like a residential door, just a little bit thinner for weight. Beautiful hardware here. Porthole window for decor, and a towel rack on the back of the door. Inside, got a deep bowl sink, another faucet. There's a Moen faucet. That's just pink antifreeze because this one's winterized. You have access to the rear window. Let's lift up. Privacy with the ocean air shade, towel bar, mirror, and it has magnification side if you wanted to really look in. And then the shower door is glass, like I mentioned before. And then when you get inside, it's fully enclosed all the way up to the ceiling. So it's not just like the bottom is enclosed and it has a waterproof membrane on the wall. It's all ABS plastic all the way around. So it's very weather tight. There's a ledge here for your shampoo, your regular diverter. The wand hangs up here on the wall. There's a clothesline that pulls across. You can hang light items on here and lock it in place. Let them dry. I've always put my bathing suit up there and some of my biking stuff to let it dry. There's a pocket here, and there's also a seat. So, you know, sometimes it's a little bit easier to wash in a smaller space if you sit on this seat. But there's plenty of room in this compartment. I even got my tall boots on. I got plenty of headroom at 5 feet 9 inches and plenty of elbow room in this compartment. Below the sink here, there's additional storage, and then the toilet paper is housed in here. And then the shower door, when you close it, has a magnetic strip that keeps it closed. And there's a travel latch as well. So that prevents the door from popping open when you're driving. Over here, plenty of counter space for all your items you need in the bathroom. And then a storage compartment here with sliding doors. A storage pocket, you can put extra toilet paper in there. A furnace duct, and then the 17-gallon black waste tank is above the floor in this box, and the toilet mounts directly to the tank. And it's a porcelain toilet, and it's similar to a residential size, so it's not like much smaller like most RVs have. And then on the wall here, there's a light switch, and then you have the water heater control. This has the Girard tankless water heater. Runs on propane. You set your temperature, you turn it on, you set your temperature to desired temperature. It's a little bit different than a regular water heater at home where it's always hot. Once you have your temperature set, you turn on the faucet or shower all the way to hot. And this will then turn on and give you hot water for those appliances. If you put it on just a little bit, you won't get warm water. It needs enough flow through to turn the water heater on. So if you just need some warm water, you can just turn this down, turn the faucet on all the way, and then you'll have your warm water coming out. The Sea Level 2 tank monitoring panel is located right here on the wall. You can check your battery level, percentage, your freshwater tank percentage, so it goes from 0 to 100. Gray waste tank has 5%, which is RV antifreeze, and your black waste tank, which is 0. You can also turn on your water pump from here. When you turn on the pump, that will pump the water system up to pressure. And then once it feels a drop in pressure when you turn on a faucet, the pump will kick back on. So once it goes up to pressure, the pump shuts off. It's a demand pump. Once you turn on faucet, it will kick back on. It's always recommended to leave your water pump off when the trailer is unattended, and also leave it off when you're towing. You wouldn't want a faucet to accidentally bump on when you're driving and to pump your 37 gallons of fresh water throughout your trailer while you're driving. So be mindful and always have that shut off. And then for ventilation in the bathroom, they leave this gap here at the door, so you can use your fantastic fan to evacuate stale air and steam and heat out of the bathroom. Let's take a walk outside. I got a lot of details I want to show you, and we'll start right by the entry door. You notice when you come outside, there's a double entry step. This is an aluminum step. Airstream has been using this step design for a long time. It's a very durable design. What's nice about it is you could determine if you want 1 or 2 steps out. So if you're parked on unlevel ground and that other step is too low to the ground, you can just tuck that away. And then when you're done using this step, you just lift up on the front and it tucks in. See how it's completely flush with the underbelly? You don't have to worry about it sticking down or out and scraping on anything. And just to get it out, you just lift up. Make sure the step fully locks in on both sides. There's a little groove it locks in. And then if you want to bring down the other step, you just lift up on the back, flip this around, and there you go. At the entry door, we got a extruded aluminum frame here, really thick gauge aluminum. Buck riveted, TIG welded. It's on an angle, so if water got behind the gasket and fell in here, it's gonna roll right out of the trailer. And then above the door, you have an outside porch light here that illuminates this area at night. And then you have a rain gutter over the door that sheds water away from your entry door. Grab handle here and also one on the inside of the trailer. And then the screen door detaches from the main door, swings around, locks in place, and then this fills the gap here. It's got this fuzzy piece on it that prevents insects from getting by. Screen door guards here on the screen. You got TIG welding, very heavy duty stainless steel hinges with 6 rivets on each hinge. As long as you don't use this as a crutch to get in and close it in a mindful way, this screen should last the lifetime of the trailer, which I've seen. The entry door has 2 locks. You have an interior lock and a deadbolt lock, and gaskets that are really thick here, so you got to give it a good slam to make sure it closes all the way. That's that sound everybody loves when you close an Airstream entry door. Has a window, a privacy window here on the entry door, heavy duty cast aluminum hinges, and then the 2 seams of the trailer are covered by extruded belt line protection. Really neatens up that center seam, makes it a little bit more weather tight. The bottom of the trailer, where the underbelly rolls up and meets the side, it's overlapped, so any water that gets behind won't roll into your underbelly, which is insulated, by the way. It has this rub rail protection on it that seals that area as well. The tires on this trailer, these are special trailer tires, so they're ST 225 75R15, low range E, and they're max inflated to 80 PSI. So that you don't want to go over 80 PSI, and you don't really need to go to 80 PSI. They're also rated at 80 miles per hour, so you can keep up with everybody else on the highway if you decide to. You gotta follow your lug nut torque specifications, so if you ever take the tire off and put it back on, you do have to check after 5, 10, 25 miles, 50 miles, just make sure that your lug nuts are at proper torque before you continue on your trip. This latch here, when you open up the entry door, this keeps the door from flying around on a windy day. And then on all 4 corners of the trailer, there's stabilizer jacks. And these are meant to stabilize the trailer to prevent it from moving around when you're inside. They're not a leveling device. Your electric hitch jack at the front of the trailer can level you up and down. That's also what you use to raise the trailer off the ball of your vehicle. Side to side, you use leveling blocks underneath the tires to kick the side up to get it level. It's not extremely crucial that the trailer is perfectly level. We don't have propane refrigerators, we have compressor refrigerators. But you want to get it level so when you lay down in your bed, you're comfortable. You want to get it level so when you're showering, the water goes down the drain. Let's talk about this power awning. Zip-T makes excellent awnings. Globetrotter comes standard with a power awning. So does International, Pottery Barn, and Classic. The Flying Cloud, Bambi, and Caravel all come standard with a manual awning, and it's not an option to get a power awning. So to get it to go, you first want to turn the awning on. It has an on-off switch. And then there's an open-close button here by the door. So we have it open now. Let's close it. First, it's gonna lower the awning down. So there's a motor in here pulling this arm down. It's got teeth on it. Now, because of that, once it's up all the way, you could tilt the awning and have it favor one side or the other by using the tilt feature. But after it lowers it down, then there's another motor on the other end that will roll the awning in. And this is beautiful sunbrella material. This stuff lasts a really long time. It's easy to clean too. But this rolls up. It's not really fast. You know, it's gonna bring it up. But what's nice about it, it is always best practice when you leave the trailer and you're not gonna be there to put your awning away. Well, this is pretty easy. On the way out, you just hit close awning, walk away, your awning's closed. On the manual awning models, you have to manually put them in and out. And that could take a few minutes, not a big deal. Coming over here, we have our RVAA approval sticker that meets all codes of RV industry. And then there's a certified green that Airstream achieves for. They got the emerald status based on the way the trailer is produced in the factory. LED running lights all the way around, markers, LED tail lights, beautiful tail light housings here on the back of the trailer. Polished rear bumper with protection caps on the corners. High gloss painted black frame. Rear bumper lid opens up for additional storage, has a rubber mat built into it, also has drains on the bottom, and you can lock these down. License plate bracket with light, beautiful Globetrotter medallion. This is the back window for the bathroom we were in, also has that rain gutter over the top. Window awnings are standard on a Globetrotter, standard on International, Pottery Barn, and Classic, optional on Caravelle and the Flying Cloud series. I highly suggest them. Pull this down, roll it up, it's spring-loaded, and it's wrapped in metal, so when it's up, it's fully protected. You can see the Airstream lettering there on the back of the trailer. You can see the wireless backup camera there, or driving camera, and the roof clearance lights. On this side, this is the tool to manually crank the stabilizer jacks. Now why, if they're powered, do you need to manually crank them? Well, they're powered, they'll come down. Once you get close to the ground, you could fine tune them and you can manually move them against the motor to get one side to touch. So if you're on level and one side needs more room to touch the ground, once you get the other one down, you just crank this one down till it hits the ground. Over here is the waste area. So you have the 17-gallon black waste tank and the 37-gallon gray waste tank. You take this cap off, you snap on your waste hose. Best practice, pull this straight out, empty your black tank first. Once that's done flowing, close it, leave the hose hooked up, open your gray, which is sink and shower waste, and that will flush out your waste hose so it's clean, sort of clean before you put it away. There's also a light here that illuminates this area at night. And then the black tank, after you're done with your trip, and the last time you're gonna empty it before you put it in storage, there is a black tank flush valve built in. And what you do is you hook up a garden hose, not your freshwater hose, to this connection. It's just a regular hose style connection when you take the cap off. Hook that on, open the waste valve, keep your waste hose on, and then turn on that garden hose. And under pressure, there's the sprayer inside the black tank that sprays the walls of the tank down and gets rid of that residual waste. You gotta make sure that you leave this open so you don't build up pressure inside the tank and flood out the inside of your trailer. There's been a lot of mistakes over the years. I've seen people accidentally hook up the city water at a campground to this connection here. But you can see they're clearly labeled black tank flush. So be mindful when you hook up there. This is the city water connection. So this has a 37-gallon freshwater tank that you could gravity fill with another connection. You hook up here with your special white freshwater drinking hose, and that will supply water to the trailer, pressure, so you don't need your freshwater tank and you don't need your water pump, and that will just supply all your plumbing with water and water pressure. This has a water pressure regulator built into it just in case the campground's water pressure got too high, it would protect your plumbing inside. There's also a screen in here for particulates, but it's a good idea to hook in an external inline water filtration system between the campground and your trailer. Over here is an outside utility shower with hot and cold water and a wand that you could hang up here and you could hose things down. It's a good way to clean some of your equipment when you're done using it. This is the 18,000 BTU furnace with exhaust, so you want to make sure you don't park next to anything combustible because this gets really hot and blows hot air out when it's in use. The cooktop ventilation system I mentioned earlier, this is the louver for it, and there's little latches here that you can spin over when it's in storage or when you're towing that keeps the lid shut. This window awning stretches the whole side of this trailer. Now people say, well, the window's over here and here, why do you need it the whole way? Well, it also shades this whole side of the trailer, so it casts a really nice shade. So if you touch the aluminum, it'll be hot here, but it'll be cooler here, and the awning material will be hot. So it actually is very functional to keep the interior temperature of the trailer down quite a bit. When you roll it up, this is spring-loaded, but because it's on the side of the trailer, you could pass trucks or go under bridges, you get that turbulence. You want this thing to get sucked out. So they give you an awning tool that you stick in, and you can turn that latch. Also, if you can't reach this is a good tool to use to pull that down. Between the wheels here, you'll see there's shock absorbers on each one of these wheels. These are Dexter axle system, the rubber torsion axle system, and this has never lube hubs, so you don't have to do any bearing repacking. You still have to check your bearings and you have to check your brakes, but it eliminates that one maintenance item. Also, the brakes are never adjust brakes. So there's self-adjusting brakes, so it eliminates that maintenance, but you still want to check your brake shoe linings from time to time. The whole underbelly of the trailer is completely wrapped up in aluminum. So all the way underneath the trailer, it looks like the side, but it's a different thickness of aluminum for weight reduction. It doesn't have to be as pretty and clear-coated as the sides. But that gives you about 6 inches between the floor and the bottom of the trailer. Acts as a little crawl space area. This is the power cord that you use the smart plug now. What's great about the smart plug, you're not relying on twist locks and threaded connections that always get stripped out and clogged with dirt. To unplug the trailer, you just do that. And what's nice about it is these prongs are so big and it fits so tight, you got better connection. So there's less resistance here and there's less of a chance of this overheating because it has better contact. And it also lights up with an LED light to let you know you have power coming in. You'd be surprised how many tech support calls we get at our dealership when people plug into the campground. The breaker at the campground wasn't turned on. They have no power coming in. Now let's talk about some of the processes we have at our dealership. Every one of our customers, after they purchase the trailer, will set up a pickup and orientation date. And we would have time dedicated, set aside with one of our delivery coordinators, and we would teach you how everything works inside and out in your trailer. Go through everything, let you see everything, let you touch everything, so you understand how they work and that it does work. And then we always welcome our guests to spend an evening at our dealership on our lot and camp in their trailer after their orientation so they could try everything out. My technicians do a great job. They spend a lot of time prepping these trailers, but they're not physically using the toilet, they're not physically using the shower, they're not actually cooking in the ovens and cooking on the cooktop. By doing that, you'll have the practice on how all this stuff works, but you also can let us know if there's anything that needs adjustment. A lot of people, after orientation and after using them, might have additional questions. So the next morning, we could assist you and answer those questions for you. That's a service that Colonial Airstream offers. We love our customers. We've been doing this a long time, and we kind of perfected the process. Over here on the wall, you'll see the trailer's plugged into electricity. This is a 30 amp connection, but in this shop we have 50 amp. So we use a special adapter that terminates one of the legs. And we also give you an adapter at our dealership that takes this 30 amp to a 15 amp outlet. So if you wanted to plug the trailer in at home, you could do that to charge it and use your microwave. You just can't run the air conditioning off of one of those adapters. These are available. You could purchase extra the 50 amp adapter. So if you could go to a campground and they only have 50, you can plug your 30 amp trailer into a 50 amp outlet. And this power cord's about 25 feet long. Below the power connection here is a cable television inlet, so you could do a portable satellite dish outside, or you could plug into park cable here. You will need to supply your own coax cable. This compartment's lockable for the freshwater fill. That 37-gallon tank is gravity filled. Turn on the faucet low, let it gravity fill. Excess air will escape out of this vent here. And then when you're done camping or you want to drain down the water, right underneath the trailer here, there's a low point drain that you spin around, and that gravity drains that tank. And then there's some low point drains here for some of your plumbing. So there was 2 underneath the pantry, and then there's 2 over here as well. Is that you? This is the waste hose storage tube. So when you're done with that waste hose, it's all dirty, you put it in here, store it separately, and then you could put a carabiner on this, and that will keep it closed when you're driving. You just line these up. This is next to your trunk compartment. You get a lot of trunk space when you get the twin bed trailer. This is fully insulated, weather sealed, double sealed, so it has, say the door gets soaking wet and raining, you open it up and you lift it up, the water rolls and falls into this channel here and prevents it from going inside the trailer. There's a rubber mat here, there's a light, and these go all the way up. They're very long compartments. Another stabilizer jack point. This is your VIN plate with production information, tire size, tire pressure. Ever need to check anything, you come right here. Then we go to the solar stone guards. So solar, because they're tinted, this protects your safety glass that's behind it from shattering when you're towing. These are stainless steel wrap protectors or rock guards. These are more resilient than the aluminum body behind it. So the aluminum, if it dents, it doesn't come back out. These, if you hit stuff or debris in the road, this will dent and bounce back. It's gapped from the body, so it allows some of that deflection. And then if you notice, there's a piano hinge on the one side, and then there's 3 nuts. You take these and they swing out, and you can clean and wax your body behind. Also too, these rock guards, if you lift up the center rock guard, and you lock it in place, turn, both sides. There, you take a Phillips head screwdriver, turn a 1/4 turn. These swing out, and then you can lift them off and clean your glass. I would never recommend leaving them off. And also, when you swing them out, don't overextend them into the body. You can dent and crease the body. And then before you tow the trailer, you got to put these tethers on too. So you got to go through your checklists. Airstream gives you a lot of great information. Inside the wardrobe, there's a QR code on the trailer, and also in the propane lid here, there's a QR code. So you can scan that with your phone, and it brings you right to the support page for your model of Airstream with very helpful information. Now that we're in here, let me show you what we got going on. 2 30-pound steel propane cylinders. Colonial Airstream fills them up for you. You could spin this all the way up and lift the cover off, and then you could undo your bottles to get them filled. Typical RV buyer, if they're doing a normal camping season, these will last you the whole season. There's a regulator here that you could twist, and there's an arrow that points to which bottle you want on. So if you decided you only wanted one on at a time, you could do that and turn the bottle on and use that. When that bottle goes empty, the gauge here will go red, and then you'll know that you have to switch it manually over to the next bottle and turn that bottle on. This also has an automatic switch over, so if you do have both bottles on, it will automatically internally switch to the other bottle. It would still show red to indicate whichever one it's pointed to initially, that one went low. And then make sure this lid's latched in place before you tow the trailer. The electric hitch jack, you can raise and lower it from this button here. There's a light to illuminate this hitching area at night. And then if you did have battery failure, you could take this cap off, and there's a tool to manually crank the trailer up and down, at least so you could get home at the campground. This is also a plastic cap that they put in a calibration. If you decided that you wanted to calibrate it so the trailer's level, you level the trailer, use a carpenter's level on the floor, and then you tighten these screws so this little bubble stays in the middle. And then from that point on, if the bubble's there, you should be level. I don't use that, I use a carpenter's level because these jacks flex a little bit, so it might not always be in calibration. But that was the manufacturer's intention. This has a 2 5 thick 16th inch ball. Remember the hitch weight was 525 pounds unloaded. Colonial Airstream gives you a hitch coupler lock. That will prevent this from lifting up. It will prevent someone from hooking up to your trailer. There are aftermarket locks available that are more enhanced than this that you could get. Has safety chains that you always crisscross, and those hook up to your hitch receiver on the vehicle. Has a trailer breakaway cable. So this trailer has electric brakes. You're required to have an electric brake control in your vehicle, whether it's factory installed or something you do aftermarket. If you do aftermarket, there's hardwire controllers, Bluetooth controllers, and wireless controllers. There's all different types. We always recommend a hardwire controller if you could do it, but on some of the European vehicles, it creates a lot of challenges, so the wireless ones work a little bit better. The vehicle's also required to have a 7-way wiring harness. So this is 6 spades and 1 pin. That plugs into the back of your vehicle. The little door that you lift up locks into this groove here. And it's always recommended to have a 12-volt charge lead on your vehicle, so when you're driving, your alternator will trickle charge your batteries. Because even though you're not physically using anything in your trailer, every time you step on your brakes, it does take some battery. And if you're in stop and go traffic for an hour, you can drain your battery pretty quickly on these trailers. So the 12-volt charge lead is important. But this hooks in, and then this will hook into your hitch receiver. This is a trailer breakaway cable. This is designed specifically for if the trailer became detached from your tow vehicle, this will pull out, and that activates the trailer brakes. Now you got full power going to your trailer brakes. A lot of people make the mistake and pull this out and leave it out. And what happens is you got full energy going to your brake drums. 4 magnets on this trailer. That will rapidly drain your battery. Also melt this out. So you'll do some damage too. So you're not only damaging your battery, but you're going to damage this and your brake magnets. It could be an expensive mistake. So always make sure you leave that in. If you look here at behind the propane tanks, there's another storage compartment, same insulation, weather seal, rubber mat. It's very large, and it also has a light built into it. And then this has 2 locks on it, and when you see, when I push down, it squeezes that door in really tight. Really makes it weather sealed. If you notice, the frame in the trailer is fully boxed steel, so it's not a C-channel frame, so it's extremely rigid. And then there's some stuff down here on the floor. This was the tool I mentioned that operates the electric hitch jack manually. This is a multi-tool Airstream gives, which has different size sockets on it, but the big thing I use is this. This is a 1/2-inch drive socket. So I could bring a socket kit with me at all different sizes, and metric or American and standard, and then I could undo things with this instead of using the set sizes here. So this is nice to have. This right here is a propane line. It's only about 3 feet long. And what that allows you to do is hook up to the external propane port here. So you take the little dust cap off, you snap this in here, slide the collar back, and then you could hook that up to a low pressure barbecue grill. And there's an on-off valve on the top to allow propane flow through. So it's only this long purposely so you don't wind up bringing a grill underneath your awning and setting the trailer on fire. And you got to be mindful, it has to be a low pressure grill. It cannot run on high pressure. If you have a high pressure grill, well great, you have 2 propane tanks up here. Take one of them out and hook it up to your grill. When you're done, put it away. Over here on this side, there is a ZAMP portable solar panel port. What's great about that is if you park the trailer in shade and your solar panel on your roof is shaded, you have another way to get solar in. You can get a portable solar panel and hook it up to this port right here and position it in the sun. It's just another thing you get store and put away and worry about getting stolen. So it's always nice to have the factory solar, but if you decide you want additional, you can put that right here. And then the trailer has a full-size spare. So that spare is located underneath the trailer. And you can lower it easily by pulling out the pin. There's another safety pin that slides across, and then you lower the tire down. Now, it's hard to reach, so you use your electric hitch jack, and that raises the trailer so you gain access to it better. And you always check your tire pressure in your spare when you check your tire pressure in your regular tires. You don't want that surprise when you go to lower your spare tire that is deflated and then you're still stuck. And you want to make sure this is clipped all the way in before you tow. And then up here between the A-frame, there is a battery box. It's a metal battery box that keeps your batteries protected. Colonial Airstream gives you a battery box lock, which is really nice because batteries are extremely expensive. So we want to protect your batteries, prevent them from theft. But these are the two Lifeline absorbed glass mat, or AGM, deep cycle batteries that are 12 volt and parallel, 80 amp hours apiece. And you can see the fuses, the battery cables, and the battery lock here. They're all in this compartment. So on the twin bed model, you get 3 exterior trunks. The front one, the side one we saw, and another one here. If this was a queen bed model, you would just get this one trunk here, but it would be deeper and wider. So you do get some exterior storage in the queen, you get a lot more on the twin. But this compartment goes all the way up to the front, lighted as well. Outside GFCI protected electrical outlet. And this one here operates the stabilizer jack. So they go down quick. Now, if we were on unlevel ground, I'd grab that tool and I'd have the one side cranked down to meet up with the other side. Just gotta make sure you bring these up before you start towing or moving your electric hitch jack up and down, because they will bend and you might get stuck if you can't get them back up. Behind that is the water heater access. So this is access for maintenance. There's a pressure relief valve in here, the exhaust. You could turn the water heater on and off from out here as like a hard shut off. So if you have kids in the trailer and you don't want them playing around with hot water, you could just physically shut it off. Also too, it's best practice to have this off completely when the trailer's in storage or when tow. And when you first turn on the trailer initially, the water heater's gonna turn on if this thing's on. And it's going to tell you it has no propane, so it's going to make an annoying beep sound. If you have that off initially, it's going to prevent that from happening. And don't store things in here, it gets extremely hot. Well, that pretty much covers this all-new 2022 Airstream Globetrotter 23 FPT. This trailer is available on display here at Colonial Airstream, Millstone Township, New Jersey. Our telephone number at the dealership is 800-265-9019. You could visit us on the web at colonialairstream.com. We have a great social media presence. You got to check us out on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Well, I'm Patrick Botticelli with Colonial Airstream. We'll see you soon.